which will take place on Saturday afternoon at the Lucas Molifi Stadium in Atteridgeville. And we are firstly joined by the away team coach for this second leg tie, and representing Kaizer Chiefs, Coach Molifi Ntseki, just to preview this fixture. Coach, maybe just opening remarks, your thoughts heading into the match. I'm sure you just got back from Limpopo. You probably have not had a training session as yet, but just your thoughts heading into this fixture and the kind of approach that we can expect. Obviously, the score currently sits at 1-1, but they do have that away goal.
Yeah, thank you very much. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, obviously it's a second leg. It's a wafa. We're looking forward to the game. Yes, of course, the score is 1-1, and we are fully aware that we have an advantage being an away team. So we're looking forward to impose ourselves, knowing very well that for us it's a cup final. It is a semi-final, but when you talk of a semi-final, you can't be in the final if you don't win the semi-final. So we're looking forward to do our best in this game, to win the game, to be in the final, and things going our way, we want to win the final. So with due respect to the two teams, Sundowns and Kaizer Chiefs, I think it will be a humdinger type of a game, and from our side, I think we are mentally fully aware of what is ahead of us and what is expected of us. And as Kaizer Chiefs, I think going into this game very courageous, knowing very well that the only results that will save our objective or help us to achieve our objective is to do well and to give a good performance and then winning this game.
Thank you, Coach. Questions from the floor now, just by a show of hands. I'll take the first one, if any. All right, Tepang here in front. Makosonke, if you can pass on the mic, please. Thank you.
Coach, Tepang from Soccer Laduma. You brought in, or the club has signed Mthethwa from Stellenbosch. Just wanted to get your thoughts on where he fits into that team. Obviously, you've got your Castello, your Mart in the middle of the park. Where do you see him fitting in, and how much of a role did you play in getting him to sign for the club?
I think, like I said before, he's a quality player. We have seen him, he has been in the league for more than 4 seasons now, and I think he has been improving as an individual over the past years. And every good quality player that we see and audit and make a proper profile of him, and we can afford to bring him to the club, we'll always go for such a player. And I think we need to congratulate the club to have secured the services of Mthethwa, because with him coming to the club will obviously add value to the team. And you need to build a very strong team, because it is not only about this season, it's about seasons to come, so that we can have stability in the team. Because we are building a team for seasons to come, not necessarily bringing in anybody and expecting that person to hit the ground running. Because there are a lot of things involved when you have to profile a player, when you have to coach and train a player and make him part of the team. And part of the team that will obviously be winning games. So I think it is more of a foundation that you're laying as a club. And I think everything is going very well. The club has secured the services of a number of players, especially coming into this season and last season. So we are looking forward to have a more of a tactical cohesion and tactical understanding. And when you start winning, you get the confidence, and then the rhythm becomes what you're looking for in a team of Kaizer Chiefs caliber.
All right, Tepo and then Sazi.
Thanks. Thanks, Coach. Tepo, ENC. With regards to Gonzalez, we've seen the past 2 matches. He, I think, came close to scoring. There was a header in the previous match, and then yesterday where he almost missed a great opportunity. Where do you think he still needs to improve, and how far do you think he'll be able to, or we are going to see the best of him? Thanks.
If you profile the personalities of strikers all over the world, it's more or less the same. They strike for everything. They are very emotional, and them being emotional is about getting goals. And when You see when a striker scores a goal, the celebration is that one of a very emotional type of a person. And I think he's a bit anxious. He has been in the country for the past 4 weeks, and he has been in the team for the past 2 weeks, of which I think it is not enough time for him to have a clear understanding of the opponents, a clear understanding of the team, and also a clear understanding of his teammates. So it is work in progress for all of us to have a very clear tactical induction into the team, and also to calm him down, because you can see he's creating those chances, or the team is creating those chances, and at times he rushes to get the ball behind the net, and it doesn't happen. So even when you're doing the debrief today, you could see that he could have done better in certain instances, and we are all behind him, we are all supporting him, and as the rest of the teams, if you are not scoring goals, but the most important thing is creating chances. And in creating chances, there will be time when we'll be able to score those chances. And I think he's one of those players that we have in the team that still has to settle. If he can just get one goal, and I'll be able to settle and be more composed in front of goals.
Coach Sazia, question almost along the same line. Maybe you can take us through why you prefer to start Gonzalez ahead of Ranga, because Ranga was, he's used to PSL, he was scoring goals last season. So maybe you can explain why you prefer to use Gonzalez ahead of Ranga.
Yeah, I think Ranga is one of the players that we have brought in this season. We have done a very good profile of Ranga, but the unfortunate part is that Ranga could not be with us in the preseason. He was injured. He came back to play 72 minutes against Chipa, and then he played 29 minutes against TS Galaxy. The unfortunate part for him, he got injured. So the nature of his injury, I think it is the one that has delayed his progress. And when you look at it, he was in the team for the first time, and then the idea is for us to progress him and to help him recover fully and to get his confidence, because as a striker, if you're not very confident and if you're not physically and mentally fit, it also works against you. So we are looking well after our players, we are protecting our players. So that's the reason why Ranga had to come in yesterday. We are building him, we are building his confidence. And as for Gonzalez, I think it is the same. I think we have a very good competition in the team. When you look at the type of strikers we brought into the team, at the end of the day, we can't play both of them because of the system and the approach that we deploy on that specific day.
Chad?
Coach Chad from SABC Sport. I just want to get into your head a bit. It's been a few months, obviously, in this hot seat. We've seen the 2 incidents last night against TS Galaxy, but there's also, a lot of external pressure on yourself. How are you handling that? You've obviously been in the Bafana hot seat, where you've got the country behind your back, but not as many active supporters, on you and at the stadium. How are you handling, these last few months, weeks even, and even extending to your family, especially the unsavory scenes that we see at stadiums in the past few weeks?
I think it has been very tough, and I think it comes with the territory. That is why you see my head swelling off every day, because every night you have to scratch your head and to try to come up with solutions. And I think as of now, I hope it's not going to get smaller and smaller until I can't even feel it. But the most important thing, I think the reality of it is that you are a coach, and in this profession, it doesn't matter which team you're coaching. The most important thing is for results. If you're not getting results, you have seen smaller teams and big teams firing coaches, and coaches not getting the required results. And I think the approach has always been step by step. Step by step, it means it is not only on the results. It is also about the cohesion, the social cohesion you build in the team, the feel for one another. And I think the most important thing is that when you look back, you experience more. When you look forward, you get hope. And I think we are still very hopeful, but the most important thing is the reality of what is happening. And when you look at the reality of what is happening, we have to come up with solutions. And the solutions that we are deploying as of now is to give the players the confidence, is to give the players the confidence on the ball, is to give the players the belief that the next game you'll play to win. if you don't get to win the next game, what is important is where did you go wrong and how best we can maybe provide a football solution to the problem. But as for me as an individual, I think I've been in this field for the past 25 years. Unfortunately, the pressure is different, but the expectation is the same. You have to win your games, you have to prepare your team, you have to prepare individuals, and you have to get the best out of your individuals that you have in the team. And getting the best, it means you'll have a very good team.
Okay, last round of questions. Tsepo, you've had your turn. Let's go to Kamu. So I'm gonna stick to this side. Let's start with Kamu.
Afternoon, Coach. Kamkhalo Mokhale, YFM. Coach, I'm looking at the two games that you've played against Sundowns in the league as well as the first leg. I mean, same kind of story. First half, Kaizer Chiefs nowhere to be seen, only to come up in the second half. So how are you changing the narrative going into this second leg and making sure that you take the game to Sundowns from the very first minute until the last?
I think when you look back at the last two matches we played, there was more of a turnaround tactical approach. And I think it is from that confidence where we'll be building going into Sundowns. And I think when you talk of Sundowns, I think they've got their own style of play. They've got the players they have in the team. They have got their own coach in terms of the approach. And I think with us, we are working on something that will ultimately work for Kaizer Chiefs. And that what will work for Kaizer Chiefs, I think we can always look back and look at how the team played in the last two matches, the chances created, the ball possession, and the confidence that we are building on the team as a whole. So I think that will be our approach going into Sundowns. We are fully aware that they are quality sides, as much as we are also a quality side. So like I said, it will be a very highly tactical game to play on Saturday. But looking forward to that game, we have got hope and believe that this is the time for us to do it.
Thank you. Let's move on to Temba.
Joseph from Sports. Coach, hard luck for yesterday, but looking at what happened yesterday, just a follow-up to that question by Chad, how much of assistance is given to the players? Because as things stand, your players will not be playing normal football in terms of the mentality that they have, that should I make a mistake, the fans will be throwing things at me, my own fans. And how much is the management supporting you in terms of helping you navigate through all of this with the players? I mean, one of the visuals yesterday, we saw Bobby with you there, you know, trying to calm the situation down. How much of that have you touched base on with the players, looking into the match that is coming on Sunday? And your management, are they giving you much support and backing when it comes to what the fans have been doing?
Firstly, let's agree that the behavior that we have seen with our fans, it has been very emotional, and maybe we can direct our emotions differently. And I think Kaizer Chiefs being the brand it is, I think the management has been there for the supporters, for the players, for the coach for many years. And I think it is just a disappointment, even from the side of the management, to see such things happening with such a beautiful brand. And I think when it comes to the players, it's also important for them to understand that wherever you have been, you have never been to this environment before. And being in this environment before, it means the demands and the requirements and the expectations are very high. At the same time, you need to manage your energy. And the most important thing that you normally address with the players is that let's have focused energy. And focused energy, it means you have to have a self-management in terms of how you go onto the pitch and you play your game, and how do you address whatever type of result that comes out of it. So all we are saying is that the players are very strong. They understand that it's a game of football. At times, if things don't go your way, it is the same, I would say, they will always applaud you, or they will always clap hands for you, or they will always sing your name when you're doing well. But you're not doing well, it is the same. So at times you do not get excited when things are going your way. You should remain calm and then wait for that moment when chips are down. You'll be very strong and have a very thick skin. And I think that's what we are developing with the rest of the players and the management and the technical team. We are developing a very thick skin, but you have to provide football solutions.
Okay, there was another hand, Lorenz and then Katlego.
Coach, last week you mentioned that you wanted to sign a defender, midfielder. You got your midfielder. Luke Flores is obviously being assessed. Has he impressed you? Is he likely we're going to sign? And obviously with 9-10 signings, is he likely to be outgoings before the deadline?
Can we just keep it like that and agree that any quality player that is available and we can afford to bring to the club will do that? But as of now, I think we have got good quality players that have given us the stability that we need. And when you talk of Luke Flores, I think we all know his qualities. He has been in the under-17 national team. I had an opportunity to work with him when he was 16. So here we are, come across Luke Flores again in the PSL. So let's wait and see what comes out of this. But at the same time, we have got good quality players at the club. And then I think defensively we have been doing very well. And like I said, any good quality that is available, we'll definitely go for that player if ever he's available and we can afford. We are happy with what we have. And I think if we have to strengthen, that's what is happening, bringing in players to strengthen the team. We have seen what is the latest being Tetra coming in. It is just for us to strengthen the team. Like I said, it's a projection that we are making for the next years to come. It is not only about today. It is not about anybody coming in to threaten anybody's position. It's about strengthening the team.
Okay, Katlego.
Coach Katlego from the Citizen, is it safe to say that you've been backed in this transfer window, Coach, and also your message to the fans in terms of letting the new players come and settle, get into what you want from them? Obviously, that takes time as well.
Yeah, we are asking for patience, and at times when you ask for patience, when somebody is very impatient, we have to do something to make him or her patient. And what we are doing now, I think that's what the club is doing. The club is signing quality players just to bring the patience in our supporters. Because when you are impatient, you being impatient might have a cause, and that might be a reason for you to be impatient. And I think that's what the club is doing, to say, as impatient as we are bringing in quality, just to have patience with this quality that you're bringing. We have just made mention of a number of players that we have brought to the team. And when we started the season, even currently, we are playing 6-7 of them. And I think playing 6-7 of them, it means even us as technical team, even me as a head coach, I need to be patient with those players, because we brought them with individual qualities, but those individual qualities, we have to be patient to make them more of a team quality. And making them more of a team quality, I think the past few matches that we have played, it is actually work in progress, because we can see improvement in those individuals and then putting together a team effort.
All right, last one there, Colin. Mike is behind you, thank you.
Coach, I come from an era where we always entertain the last performance being the best to start going forward. I'm interested in one particular player. Maybe you can give us an X-file if there is, because this player will always come in and give you a good cosmetic difference and a shining performance. We're talking Frosler. Is there maybe something I missed on the medical records or some X-file that you can expose?
You've got competition, Karabo.
Yeah, I think the most important thing, even at training and the games that we played, I think you have seen that you have rotated a lot of players, so that we are fully aware that all the games that you're going to play is back-to-back. And without us banning out certain players, that is why we have done a lot of rotation. And I think Riff came back from sickness against Ellis. He played at left back and he did very well in that game. But when you go into the game before that and the game after Stellis, I think our back four have been very solid. They never conceded goals and they've been doing very well. And that is why even last week against the Royal EM, we also brought Riff into the game just to have play minutes. In terms of our rotation and how we balance the team, you might see some of the players starting against Sundowns, And starting against Sundowns, we'll be having some fresher legs going into that game. So I think the most important thing now that you're having a big squad with so much quality, it is important to keep everybody on his toes and to keep everybody focused for any time whenever he has to come in.
Okay, Coach, through you, can I just take one more there, ENCA?
Okay.
Just one.
Thanks, Coach. No, mine is about Peterson. We saw last night he was not in action. Is the matter of injury just an update on his not seeing him last night? Thanks.
Yeah, it's very interesting when we always make reference to players that are not on the pitch. But the most important thing is to give support to those that are on the pitch. And I think I just spoke about the rotation. And I think the goalkeeping department has been doing very well. The attitude from each one of them has been very good. The support that they were getting or they were giving to each one of them has been very good. And I think it was an opportunity yesterday for Itumeleng Khune to be in goals. And I think with the stats, if I'm very correct with the stats, he's the first player in the Premier League to have appeared for 18 years in the game and starting and playing in the last 18 years. So I think it was a very good one for Itumeleng Khune and Bruce Voma to be on the bench yesterday. And also, well done to Itumeleng Khune. I think he had a good game, apart from conceding the goal. But I think it's the rotation system that we are applying. Any player who's on the pitch, we give him the support. And then the quality that we leave out will always have a chance to be on the pitch again.
All right, Coach, thank you very much. We'll end it here. All the best for Saturday. Thank you.